In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the vertex of a quadratic function, so the minimum or the maximum. So let's go into y equals and let's type in a quadratic function. So let's just type in x squared, let's see, plus, let's say 2x, and then minus 3. So I've got my quadratic function here. I want to see what it looks like on my graph. I'm going to graph it. And there it goes. When your parabola opens up like this vertex right here, is it a minimum or a maximum? It's a minimum value. So you need to make sure that you can determine if it's a minimum or a maximum. It's a minimum value. So we're going to tell our calculator to calculate this minimum value. So anytime you're in your graph and you want to calculate something, that blue calc above the trace button is where you're going to go, and that's a second function. So you're going to go to second trace, and you're going to calculate a minimum. You can scroll down to 3 and press enter, or you can just press the button 3. So we're going to find the minimum, and as you can see, it says left bound, question mark. So what I like to do is you're going to use your left and right arrow keys, and I like to go left, get my cursor to where I think that minimum value is. So I think that's the lowest point on my graph. So when it says left bound, what we're going to give our calculator is boundaries for that vertex. So what I like to do is I like to go left 2 clicks, and then I press enter, and then I'm going to go right 2 clicks back to my vertex. Then it says right bound, and I like to go right 2 clicks, press enter. That's my right boundary. Left 2 clicks back to the vertex where I think that vertex is. And then it says guess. When I press enter, there is my minimum value at negative 0.999998. Y equals -4. So I've got my x value of the minimum and my y value of the minimum. So what does it look like if your parabola opens down? So I'm going to clear this calculator. Second plus 712. You don't have to, I just am. And I'm going to go to y equals, and now I'm going to type in a quadratic that will open down. So I'm going to get a negative a value. So let's do negative x squared. Let's do plus 3x minus 1. And then let's graph it. And there's what our parabola looks like. It opens down. So now we can see that vertex is not a minimum, it's a maximum, right? So when your parabola opens down, that vertex is a maximum. It's the maximum value on this particular graph. So I want to calculate now second, where do I go? Trace. I want to calculate the maximum. So again, you can scroll down to maximum and press enter, or you can just press 4. So now we're going to go right to get our cursor up to that maximum where we think our vertex is. To me, this is just the best way to do this. I think it's about right there. And then what I like to do to set that left boundary is from where I think the vertex is, go left 2 clicks and then press enter. And then right 2 clicks back to the vertex. So we're at our vertex. And on your calculator, you're not going to get that dotted line most likely. But you can get a nice visual on my screen of where I set my left boundary. Now I'm at my guess, but I'm looking for the right boundary. So I'm going to go right, and if you want, you could even go right 3 clicks. But I'm going to go right 2 clicks, and then I press enter, and then I'm going to go left back to my vertex. So I've set my boundaries. I'm giving my calculator some boundaries so it can focus on where I think that vertex is. And now I'm going to guess it. I press enter, and there's my maximum. The x value is at 1.499. And the y value is at 1.25. And you can do your rounding however your question says to do it. I usually like to take it out 3 decimal places. But that concludes this video. I hope it was helpful how to find the vertex using your TI-84 calculator or 83, how to find the minimum or maximum value of a quadratic function. I hope it was helpful.